A couple of weeks ago, I went on a trip to San Francisco to get my eyeball scanned at one of Sam Altman's Orbs. If you haven't seen my video about it, I mean, it's 40 minutes, so I get it. You don't need to watch that video to watch this video, but this is a follow-up to that video. Because 2 days after I released it, the company who makes these orbs, Tools for Humanity, announced they were laying off a bunch of people. We did it, boys. Time to celebrate a job well done. All right, obviously my little 200 view video didn't take down this $2 billion company. And before I go speculating on why I think these layoffs happened, I'll give you a quick review of my previous video so you don't have to click away and go watch it yourself and then come back. I'm just a good guy like that. It kind of looks like one of those orbs, doesn't it? All right, so here's the deal. Sam Altman and his buddy Alex Blania started this biometric company that scans your eye and then tethers it to an online passport. The idea here is that as the internet gets more bogged down by AI bots that Sam and his buddy Mark Andreessen are making to destroy discourse and culture, people are gonna need a way to distinguish themselves from the bots. See, if they destroy the internet hard enough, then they can force everyone to sign up for their online passport, get a government contract with every single government in the world, and turn the entire internet into a massive walled garden where they can skim a little off the top of every interaction online. It's pretty insidious stuff, and obviously I gotta remind you to go watch that 40-minute deep dive if you find all this interesting, because in that previous video I showed some clips of this guy, Adrian, explaining how the tech works and why the biometrics part of it isn't actually as scary as it sounds. Well, what I didn't know in my last video that I just found out from a Gizmodo article, earlier this year, Tools for Humanity's Chief Information Security Officer and Chief Architect Adrian Ludwig, as well as Chief Legal and Privacy Officer Damian Kieran, departed the company. Adrian's out. That's right, as Tools for Humanity has pivoted to trying to make money instead of helping people, all the idealists are leaving. Yeah, Adrian's not the only one who's left. Shout out to Nicole Einbinder at Business Insider here, who's done some great cataloging of Tools for Humanity's various issues. You know what they say, you can't have Business Insider without Einbinder. Their exits follow a slew of high-level departures. The head of protocol and applied research, the head of people, the head of talent, and the head of people operations have left the company in recent months, according to former employees and a review of LinkedIn. A former employee added that the company's data protection officer left in November. The head of device product and a lawyer who, according to LinkedIn, joined in September, also submitted their notices, the former employee said. Maybe that's because Alex Blania said this at a company all-hands meeting. We will neither fail, nor will we be an average outcome. And that's what we want. And that's all I care about every day. And that's all you should care about every day. And nothing else should matter. If you should care about something else, and if you want something else, you should just not be here. It's as simple as that. Alex is apparently taken to putting up the company values on TVs all across the office that say things like, "We are very hardworking. We believe this is a once-in-a-lifetime project, and that success is important for humanity. Therefore, we work weekends. We are always on call, and we push as hard as the circumstances allow us to. As a result, we defy the odds, get to escape velocity, and succeed at the mission." This is part of a larger business trend called hardcore culture. It's overtaken Silicon Valley where I live. Now that tech companies don't have to pretend to make their employees happy anymore, it's basically either you work yourself to death and like it, or get replaced by somebody more desperate. The company's CPO, Tiago Sada, actually responded to this damning Business Insider article saying, "These allegations are absolutely correct." Ew, geez, buddy. Yuck. Like I said, 1 or 2 days after I released my banger deep dive into Sam Altman's Orbs, they announced a bunch of layoffs. And I know I was initially really stoked. Who knew a 40-minute YouTube video with 200 views could take down a whole biometric company? I'm telling you, these guys are terrified of me. Move over, Nick Shirley. Well, it turns out my excitement was short-lived. I didn't take down this company at all. According to Nicole at Business Insider, the company has struggled to show how its iris-scanning orb can generate revenue and win over regulators, despite a $2.5 billion valuation and millions of signups. Gosh, I wonder what gives. Well, it sure does make it sound like these orbs can't turn a profit, despite laying out a pretty solid enshittification plan on their blog. But I mean, does profitability even matter to these guys anymore?
Where's the money come from? Even if you think, oh, businesses are going to get so much out of AI, blah, 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 the money's still got to come from somewhere, and software and infrastructure spend is not at that level. We're talking about doubling, tripling, quadrupling the amount of money spent on software and infrastructure unilaterally across the tech industry. I just don't think it's possible.
Silicon Valley is not innovating anymore. They're making different versions of the same thing. So I think everyone is hysterically and desperately saying that AI AI is the biggest thing ever, because to say it's not naturally begs the question, what is next? No one has that. It's not quantum, it's not robotics, it's not anything. And if they admit that, and they're willing to spend trillions of dollars to not admit it, they have to admit that maybe tech's growth era is over, or at least for a bit.
You might remember some bigger news from Sam Altman last Monday, because that's the day that OpenAI said that they were confidentially filing paperwork for an IPO. You know, the thing that just made this sad clown the world's first trillionaire. It had to be that guy.
We actually have an enormous number of incredibly admirable billionaires who've really taken their responsibility seriously. And then you got clowns. And at the moment, Musk is a clown.
According to the SF Chronicle, the Tools for Humanity layoffs were reported as OpenAI said it submitted a draft registration statement to the US Securities and Exchange Commission for a proposed IPO, though it has not decided when it might go public. So these layoffs I was so excited about are probably more related to the IPO than the mass destruction of our collective consciousness. Really thought I had that one. While they've been pretty unresponsive to places like Business Insider about these layoffs and their purpose, I mean, I'm no business guy like the early stage investor from my last video, but allow me to speculate on the timing of this move. All right, so Tools for Humanity has floated tethering WorldCoin, the crypto you get for signing up for the World app and scanning your eyeball with one of their orbs, to OpenAI and ChatGPT. Now, tethering these two initiatives together makes it look a lot more profitable for that massive IPO that they're trying to do, right? How does ChatGPT make money? Tokens. How do you get ChatGPT tokens? You earn them by making purchases through the World app, right? This is the walled garden they're making. Think about how Elon pumped up the value of his SpaceX IPO by tethering every other company that he runs to SpaceX. Tesla, Neuralink, XAI. Does the boring company still exist? Them too, right? The SpaceX IPO is the collective value of all the different companies that Elon runs. It's not just SpaceX. Sam Altman is doing the same thing here. He's tethering World, Tools for Humanity, Merge Labs, OpenAI, all that together to make a massive IPO with the value of all those companies combined. Elon just proved that companies don't need to be profitable right now. All you have to do is make massive, crazy, overblown claims about science fiction villain stuff that you're planning on doing in the future, like locking entire governments onto your platform so you can eventually replace them. I'm not saying they want to own a country.
I'm not saying they want to own a country.
So, there you have it. The plan is still on despite the people who haven't sold their souls for money departing the company. They're gonna do it. They're gonna wrap up their world domination plan maybe sometime before the 2026 midterms and hold on.
Finally, I have ascended to my true orb form. Tremble, mortals, as I digitize your irises.